Bleacher Report has a list of Bears that could possibly be cut before the start of the season. We're going to find out if I agree, disagree. Do I think they missed a couple of players as well that should have been on that list? We're going to talk about that. Plus, DJ Moore not happy with his Madden 2024 rating. We're going to get into all that and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host here, Haize. You guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be in. But let's go ahead and get to the content for today. So first up, the Bleacher Report has a list of Bears that could possibly be traded before the start of the season. And I'm going to tell you what, I don't agree with some of the names on this list at all. There is one that I kind of understand, but we're going to talk about it. I want to hear from you guys and how you feel about it, if you agree that some of these players could be cut. And this kind of comes down to kind of some of my issues with some of Bleacher Report's writing. I think, Bleacher Report at times has writers that just I don't think are really tapped in with the team itself, kind of more so the rumors around the team, and they make some of these articles based off that. But again, that's my thought process behind it. But this article was written by Jake Rill over at Bleacher Report. And so the first name up that they had on this list was Chase Claypool. And that's where it initially started going downhill. While I know there's some doubt around Chase Claypool, and I know, there have been that questions about his motor, his desire to be great, things like that. And all those things, okay, we'll take it is what it is. But to say and put him on the list of players that could not even make it out of training camp, the direct title of this is Bears players who need impressive camp to avoid being cut. Come on now. There's very small. Chase Claypool would have to come into camp just not lose every ability he has to play football to be cut, right? To avoid being cut. That's how we're listing it. Chase Claypool, to me, does not stand any chance of being cut by the Chicago Bears before they take a look at him via the regular season. Do I think that they could look to maybe trade him, considering, the contract situation? That I do think that there's a chance of, depending on how he performs. But do I think they're going to outright just cut Chase Claypool? I don't believe that. I get it. He came in. He wasn't very impressive as a Bear last season. There are reasons for that. He came in. It was a midseason acquisition. Luke Getsy really didn't have a chance to integrate him into the game plan. Then on top of that, Darnell Mooney went down. We lost a bunch of players. Chase Claypool eventually becomes kind of the wide receiver number one because of injuries. And it was just kind of an up and down on top of us just not being a good passing team. But to have him on a list of players that have to have an impressive camp just to avoid being cut, I think that's sensationalizing to a degree that I just personally can't get with. And even, he said it was a few weeks ago, probably more, like it may even been a month ago, that, he went overseas to help grow the game. And, he even said, like, this is the part that the media doesn't talk about. And to put him on this list, man, it just, I don't know. And the direct quote in this article says, when training camp begins, the Bears are likely to have a lot of competition for roster spots. They have plenty of starting spots that would need to be decided, and there are quite a few players who could be on the roster bubble for much of the first 2 months. And then they go on to talk about how Chase Claypool struggled to get acclimated and things like that. Like, that's not completely on him as a player. And then says the Bears are hoping Claypool can become a viable receiving option alongside Darnell Mooney, DJ Moore, but the team has a lot of other wide receivers on the roster that could potentially push Chase Claypool out of a sizable role. That is to say out of a sizable role, but to say that he could end up as a cut candidate, I personally just don't see it, man. I think they're going to give every opportunity to see what this three-headed monster, if it can actually be a viable three-headed monster. And I don't think they take away weapons from Justin Fields. I know we have rookies in there like Tyler Scott, who can come in, and some people are hoping they're going to come in and shine and things like that. And I don't want to take away from that. But I don't think they're going to cut Chase Claypool before the start of the season, before they really get to take a look at that monster and what it could eventually be. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think I'm off my rocker? Do you agree with Jake Rill that Chase Claypool could be cut before the start of the season? Now, the next one up is one that I agree with, and that is Travis Homer. And I think when you look at the fact that Travis Homer has never really had a sizable or a huge playing opportunities in the NFL yet. And while he came in, he's 24 years old. We understand that one of the better blocking wide receivers, one of the better blocking running backs and things like that in the game. But when you look at what we have now, we have Dante Foreman, we have Khalil Herbert, we have Roschon Johnson. I think when you look at that, there is enough reason to think that, hey, a running back like a Travis Homer could find himself on the odds and be on the way out. But then I think also you have to look at Treston Ebner, right? Like Treston Ebner, I think would probably be a cut candidate before you would cut a Travis Homer myself. But, you could say again, Treston Ebner, a younger player, they could look to hold on to him, especially what he could be in the special teams. So, I agree more so with the Travis Homer being listed on here, just when you kind of look at what the Bears have overall at that running back position and the depth that we have. So I agree with this one. I can understand it. I think Treston Ebner could find himself on that as well. But him and Travis Homer, I do agree with him possibly being on that list. Next up, Jalen Jones. Now, this is one that I went back and forth with. I initially saw that and was like, I don't know. Like, I think Jalen performed pretty nicely towards the end of the season when we had all of those injuries. I like the way that he came in, and he came into the team not really expecting to have a huge role. He ends up playing in 16 games for the Bears last season. 4 of those being starts. He has 47 tackles and a forced fumble. And when you look at his youth and the fact that how he came in and worked himself into being that being an undrafted rookie to actually making the league, and yes, starting because of injuries and things like that. But Jalen Jones, personally, I don't see the Bears necessarily cutting him. Yes, I know they have another cornerback that they drafted that could come in and take some things. I understand that, right? But I don't think that they necessarily look to move him. I don't know if I agree with that one. That aspect of it. Again, I'm not saying that I can't be right. I can't be wrong on it at all. But when you look at Jalen Jones, like an extremely young player, 1 season in the league, he was only born in 1997. Like I personally think Kendall Vador would be on that list before. Maybe Josh Blackwell as well. Like, I don't know, man. I look at that and I have some questions about Jalen Jones being on that list. But at the same time, I kind of understand it to a degree as well, right? I don't want to act like it's not as egregious, I think, as the Chase Claypool part of it. But hey, let me know what you guys think on that. Do you agree with that list? Do you disagree with that list? Do you think that Bleacher Report and Jake Rill are kind of off their rocker a little bit with having any of these players on there? Let me know all that down below. Now, before we go to that, I do want to talk about, unfortunately, I'm going to say unfortunately, Madden. Like, Madden ratings and 2K ratings are a part of the offseason now in both sports. And DJ Moore, who was not happy with his rating at all, he gets rated at 86, and he had the tweet, an 86, question mark? Come on, EA Madden NFL. Like, and, we got a number of Bears ratings for Madden. And, I kind of use this as well as a way to segue into Madden. You guys can catch these hands on Madden. My PSN is at CEO Haize. I'm at CEO Haize on everywhere. Make sure you guys send me a friend request, because when Madden comes out and I get it, I'm giving out L's all day long. So if you guys want to come catch some L's, come holler at me on Madden, man. I'll give you guys them L's, man. You know what? I may get a podcasting Madden turd going on with the Windy City Breeze. Maybe we can get Swifty on. You know what? I may do that. We may even record it and stream some of that. But DJ Moore gets the 86 overall, considering I don't think he's had a year under 1,000 yards receiving. Like, I understand the question marks, especially from him. These guys take pride in that, in those Madden ratings as well. So, but to go over some of the other Bears ratings on Madden so far that we have released, Eddie Jackson as well as an 85. Considering the season that he was and the trajectory he was on, I would have expected him to be a little bit higher. He didn't finish the season, so I kind of understand it. Darnell Mooney comes in as an 81. I think that's a little bit low for Mooney. Yes, he had a disappointing season last year, but there was a lot of factors that went into that. The rookie that really shined for us last season as well, Jaquan Brisker, a 78 overall. Man, listen, y'all got to stop doubting my boy Jaquan Brisker. Chase Claypool comes in with a 76. Kind of understand that. Dante Pettis has surprisingly a 73. EQ St. Brown has a 71. Tyler Scott has a 71 as well, coming in as a rookie. Velus Jones has a 69. I think that's earned with how he, lack of performance and kind of the expectations around him as well. Adrian Colbert was at 67. And there's some other Bears players that we have so far that all below 60, in the mid 60s. I'm not really going to rate those so far. But overall, I kind of, like I said, I use this segment as a way to kind of segue into Madden. Y'all can come catch these hands. I'm giving out free L's every single day on Madden, so y'all can come catch them. It is what it is. But before we go, I want to end on a quote that we have from rookie Zach Pickens. And he says this: I just want to be remembered, not just a name. I want to be legendary. That's from Zach Pickens. And I love the mindset behind the young players that we have. Not only did we draft young players with talent, we drafted young players with the mindset that they want to be great. Him, Javon Dexter, right? You even look at Darnell Wright. We have rookies that want to make an impact. Terrell Smith, right? Tyler Scott. Like, these players want to make an impact. These players want to come in and make their presence felt. Noah Sewell, you can add that to that list. The new wave of Bears fans and the mindset and methodology that we're bringing in, the culture that we're building here for the Chicago Bears is going to be one that I think we'll talk about talent level once the pads are on and the lights are on, things like that. But I love the mindset of so many of our rookies and just the things that Tyreek Stevenson, can't forget that guy because I think he's going to be an absolute dog this season. Yeah, we're shaping up for a fun season, man. We're getting closer and closer to the opening of preseason. Training camp is right around the corner. Make sure you guys stay tuned in with us. Hit that subscribe button, man. We're going to be bringing, I think C-Dub's still planning on doing live calls this year. We'll definitely be bringing our live post games during the year as well. If you guys show up for that, we may even start bringing the halftime hangouts that I do over at Chicago Bulls Central, over to Chicago Bears Central as well, where we kind of hang out during halftime. Make sure you guys stay tuned in for all that, man. We're trying to bring you guys the best content, the best way that we can, man, and give you the most consistent content as well. So make sure you guys stay tuned in. Sound off down below as well if you're on that YouTube side. But more importantly, make sure you follow the show at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform. You can also go to our Facebook group, Chicago Bears Central on Facebook, if you want to be a part of the conversation each and every day. We also have a Discord server, which the link is down below. You can join that server. You can talk to us, interact with all of us every day. We're in and out of there. We have rooms for every Chicago sports team, so make sure you guys are tuned into that as well. So yeah, make sure you follow us at Chi Bears Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, you can leave a text message and our voicemail for our Friday and Saturday mailbag episodes. The number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related because of you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, Bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.